So, what can you tell us about the premiere?
Well, the premiere is called Hello, Brother, which is one of our most famous lines from the first season of the show. Kevin and I wrote it together, so it's nice to circle back and revisit that relationship. And it has a lot of elements of earlier seasons of the show that we've seen before in a different package where, you know, in this case, Stefan is the hero brother trying to rescue Damon from the clutches of a great evil. It's an evil that we can't define, an evil that they can't identify. So there's so many questions, there's a big mystery about what that might be. So as Stefan is trying to be happy with Caroline, and as Alaric is trying to live his life balanced as being a supernatural geek against, you know, the father of two kids who need to come home every night, and as Bonnie is mourning the loss of the two most important men in her life, we start to understand just a little bit about who it is, what it is, and has control over our two favorite men, and what our heroes are going to have to do to get them back.
You mentioned Bonnie, and obviously at the beginning of last season it was kind of a different role for her where she was kind of trying to pull Damon out of his downward spiral. How will she approach it this season be different? Because last year was kind of a little more comedic. They were drinking buddies and they were doing all that. But are we going to see? I know you mentioned that she kind of has this like devastation she has to deal with. How are we going to see her, react? And what is she going to do specifically to try to bring them back?
Bonnie will very quickly realize that Enzo's doing everything in his power to lead her to him, to get her the right clues to help her rescue him. And the problem is that he can't necessarily be rescued. The first big shift for Bonnie is what she's going to realize, that she, like everybody else, are fighting so hard to get Damon and Enzo back, but she realizes that technically for everybody else the priority is Damon, and yet Enzo, so in a way she takes the responsibility of being Enzo's advocate and standing by him and saying, I will make sure that I fight for you as hard as anybody else is fighting for Damon. So it puts her in an interesting position where she's got to say, Damon and Enzo are two most important men to me, but if I don't fight for my guy, no one's going to fight for him at all. And so that'll be a fun dynamic to explore with her.
The most asked question on my Twitter when I told them that I would be here was like, Steroline, can we expect a June wedding?
That's so funny. You're the second person to ask me that, so it makes me laugh. And my answer is, and continues to be, we couldn't be more aware of that line from the pilot, and we love being able to circle back to things like that. And absolutely, it's in our lexicon of undelivered on ideas from the early seasons.
Going back to Enzo and Damon kind of being possessed right now, do you think either one of them are thinking of Bonnie or thinking of Elena while they're in the state, or do you think they're just totally like checked out, humanity's gone?
Yeah, I think that the fun of this particular predicament, in that it's something we haven't seen before, which is that they are being controlled by an entity, and yet they're struggling with their own sense of humanity. And there's a lot of options when you're in that situation. Do you flip it off completely? Do you find a little pocket space in the side of your brain to hold on to what you love and try to hold on to yourself? Do you throw caution to the wind and just say, screw it, I'm doomed, I'm destined for this hell, I may as well embrace it. And that's what they'll be going through.
I'm sure that you've known probably for a while how the series is going to end. With this being the last season, has that changed at all? The idea for the series ending has evolved a lot over the years. When Kevin and I first came up with what we thought it would be, obviously Elena was still going to be a part of the series all along, and even when that got modified a bit in season 3, the other side still existed, and so we had all kinds of plans. And with Elena leaving and the other side going away, I've had to readjust a lot of those ideas, but they all exist in the same tone, same emotional foundation as what Kevin and I came up with 6 years ago. Is it ending going to be closed, or will it be any open?
It's going to close. Oh, look, it's not written yet. If I have my way, Paul Wesley was trying to pitch to me the Sopranos version of the end. I was like, no, dude, have you met me? If I have my way, which I could lose, by the way. I got a team of writers and Kevin and anyone else's opinion. But if I have my way, it will be the ultimate closure. the ultimate perfect Friday Night Lights closure.
Great reference. Well, since it is the final season, I had a lot of people on Twitter asking me as well, could we see returning characters, whether it's characters from the originals, so maybe a Klaus or Elijah or something like that, or even characters from the past of the show. And is that, like, I know about the Vampire Diaries, is the originals and the Vampire Diaries, like, their times, are they going to kind of sync up so that would be potentially possible for a Michelson or two to pop up in Mystic Falls?
When you do casting, you have this thing called putting someone on hold, which is basically just saying, hey, we're asking about you, keep that window open, let us know if a job comes up that might make you unavailable. And it's the way of just saying, like, we're talking about maybe using you in this episode. And already our hold list of returning actors is 10 deep. So I can't say anything more, but there's definitely a plan to try to revisit the stories with everybody.
You and Kevin did surprise us on Dawson's Creek because Joey ended up with Pacey, not Dawson, and I loved it, by the way. But any surprises in the end of Vampire Diaries in this regard?
I think anything could happen between now and then. The one thing that I fundamentally, refuse to do, and Kevin and the writers and I refuse to do, is cement the ending of a relationship in the finale when we're still playing it out. Because things can change. You can be surprised by something. It can take you in a different direction. So I won't make any promises about who's choosing who and how that's going to go. But I do think that there'll be a satisfying resolution to all the relationships. Not everyone in that way will be happy, but they'll still feel a sense of completion.
Nice. Thank you.
Thank you so much.